Welcome to r/slash Talesfromtechsupport, where a Karen gets herself in big trouble. Our next Reddit post is from Dracon. I used to build websites for small charities. Mostly, they were lovely to work with, but occasionally I had problems due to the fact that their tech knowledge tended to be non-existent. I just finished a site for a charity that raised money for their local hospital and was quite pleased with how it came out. I'd enjoyed building the thing and got on well with their volunteers, including their chief executive. Soon after sending them the test environment URL for them to proof the site before going live, I got a call from the chief executive. Instead of the "nice job, it looks great" conversation I'd been expecting, she was in a furious rage. "How could you deliver such a shoddy piece of work? Nothing looks like it's supposed to. It's so unprofessional. I can't believe it. It's just completely broken." Oh no, I've screwed up, I think, and frantically load up the site. It looks fine. It looks okay to me, I say. What seems to be the problem? This led to a much longer rant about how I'd tricked them and had no intention of delivering a working site. Determined to get to the bottom of the problem, I apologized profusely and asked her to click on the homepage link so that we were on the same page and she could start to describe the problem. "I can't do that," she said. "It won't work." Okay, what computer are you using? Maybe it's your browser version? "Oh no, dear, I don't have a computer. Nasty things. I won't have them in the house." At this point, my brain nearly broke from the force of the sudden mental gear change. It turned out that she was a sort of chief executive who had her assistant print out her emails in the morning and then dictated replies for that poor person to type up. She had the entire site printed out and was upset it looked wrong. And then down in the comments someone asks, "Was she tapping on the paper to visit links?" And OP replies, Yes, she was." What is wrong with this woman? Does she think that pages work like Harry Potter books with moving images and just magical pages? And an even better question, how does a person like that become a chief executive in a company? Our next Reddit post is from Rafflecopter Pilot. Our company headquarter building has big conference rooms. Despite not being in the events or hosting business at all, we sometimes rent these rooms out if we don't need them ourselves. It's only a business-to-business offering. We only offer a little service, but that makes for a fair rate. Everything's usually easygoing, not much work, and earns a few extra bucks. The day this story took place was one such time. A company that had rented our conference rooms before had booked them again, but this time for a completely different occasion, hence other guests in our house. Regarding technical equipment and support, the rules were simple. We as the host provide you with one high-quality projector per room, one HDMI cable, one audio cable if you want to use the room speaker system, and one Wi-Fi voucher for each of the devices people need to present from. Everything other than that is your own business as a guest. Last year's autumn when this happened, both the IT team and our facility department were very short on staff thanks to a bad stomach flu going around. Preparing the conference room for renters hasn't been among my duties for years now, but due to the staff situation and still knowing how to do it, I helped out. Usually, our main janitor prepares the room layout and our internal catering woman stays on standby for the guests, but they were both out sick. The only option to fill in their position on short notice was to borrow Lucy, an apprentice from another department. She was fresh from school, had only started her apprenticeship a few weeks ago, and didn't mind doing something completely different for a day. Naturally, she needed some instruction and some help with her newly assigned duties. It took longer than usual, but together we made sure everything was perfectly prepared in time for our guests. Prior to our guest's arrival, I had briefed Lucy to call me personally if the guests required any IT help before I had to leave. Since I passed the conference area on the way through the building a little later on, I checked on Lucy and the guests. Quite a few people had already arrived, but so far, everything was good. The projector and sound worked, and Lucy felt comfortable to handle the job. Everything seemed fine. Half an hour passed by, and then I received my first call from Lucy. The guests wanted to know where they could get Wi-Fi vouchers. Dang, my bad, I forgot to tell her. So I sent her to the front desk. 10 more minutes pass. Suddenly, another call. Lucy, sounding strangely nervous, said, Could you please come down? The guests need help with the Wi-Fi." Since I'd never interacted with her before today, I couldn't quite place if the tone of her voice indicated a problem or if she was just a little insecure and stressed. Something felt off, though. "Sure, don't worry, I'll be there in a few minutes. Just gotta finish something real quick." Upon entering the hallway to the conference rooms, I could already hear an irritated woman's voice heavily berating somebody. Not a good sign. Worried now, I picked up my pace and turned around the final corner, only to find poor little Lucy cornered by a suited woman in her 40s whose voice I had heard, absolutely barking at her about not delivering what they paid for. Lucy was visibly shaking a little, probably getting close to a panic attack. After hearing my footsteps, her eyes immediately made contact with mine, looking anxiously for help. "Excuse me." "What? Now who the F are you?" "I'm from IT, and I'm here to help you with the Wi-Fi issue Lucy contacted me about. What can I do for you?" "We were promised Wi-Fi vouchers in the lease contract for the room, but she," the woman points her finger directly at Lucy, almost stabbing her in the eye, "refuses to hand out any." Lucy, seemingly on the verge of tears now. "But I gave you one for your laptop, your tablet, and your guest speaker's laptop." "And what about the others? We have over 100 people here and everyone needs Wi-Fi, you stupid, worthless." Those words really hurt, and this new, unexpected toxic situation became too much to bear. Tears welled up in Lucy's eyes. Before seeing this, I already had more than enough of this woman's behavior, but now I snapped. This had to stop. "Hey, stop. Calm down. Keep those insults to yourself. Where are your manners? Back off. She's just doing her job and following policy." The woman turns to me with a cocky look on her face and maximum disdain in her voice. "Who do you think you are, telling me what to do or say, huh? And what stupid policy? We were promised Wi-Fi, and that's what we're getting from you." The contract clearly states the IT policy for external guests, which... "Don't care. You two drones are utterly useless and should get fired. Get me the manager in charge, now." "Alright, as you wish. I'll be right back." With that, the woman stormed off back to the conference room. I gestured Lucy to come with me and she immediately followed, glad to get away and barely keeping it together. We made our way around the corner back to the elevators when I stopped and put my hand on one of Lucy's shoulders, getting her to look up at me. "I'm so sorry you were treated like that. Are you okay?" Lucy nodded and took a deep breath, slowly regaining her composure. "Listen, you don't have to accept this sort of behavior. Neither as an apprentice nor as anyone else. Feel free to simply walk away next time and report it to a manager." "Okay, I will." "Don't let those hurtful words get to you. Forget everything she said. You were doing a great job. Really, I mean it, and I'm very proud of you standing your ground." We reached the elevators and entered one. I pushed a button to the executive floor. "Where are we going now?" "My office. At least, I will. You go fetch a hot chocolate or whatever you like from the machine next to the elevators. It's free. Then have a seat on the sofa. I'll be back in a few minutes." Lucy looked confused, but complied. Meanwhile, I went through the adjacent hallway door and into my office. Since I knew in advance that I was going to have to help the conference room get ready, I'd been wearing jeans because I knew I had to set up the conference room today, but I brought a nice suit to change into. When I came out of my office all dressed up, Lucy's eyes grew wide. "This question might sound stupid now, sorry, but who are you exactly?" I smiled. "I do work in IT, but I'm the CIO. Since so many of my employees are sick right now, I'm filling in for them. That's why I helped you set up the room instead of Ben, who usually does this. And now, since that lovely woman down there asked for a manager's attention, we'll teach her a lesson in respect. Follow me." With that, we made our way down to the conference rooms again. I mockingly straightened out my tie and suit jacket. "Lucy, would you please be so kind as to inform our guest that the manager in charge is here now?" She grinned and did as requested. Immediately I could hear a faint, "Finally, everything takes too damn long around here," before the woman hurried through the door towards me. When she recognized me, she froze in her tracks. "Good morning. My name is OP and I'm the CIO of this company and therefore the manager in charge regarding your issue who you demanded to speak to." Calmly, I walked towards her, reaching into my jacket and gave her my business card. The woman took my card, but not being able to throw anybody under the bus apparently left her without a plan and speechless. "Now that I've got your attention, I have 3 things to tell you. 1. You stated that you were promised Wi-Fi and that you want to get what you pay for. You signed a contract stating that you'll get Wi-Fi access for every device needed for your presentation, which we delivered. We neither can, nor will we provide access for all attendees of your event. Our network, our rules. Period. 2. Your condescending, rude tone is bad enough in itself, but verbally abusing and intimidating employees, especially a minor like in this case, absolutely won't be tolerated around here. I expect a sincere apology from you to Lucy and myself." She slowly found the ability to speak again. Okay, I apologize. That wasn't very professional of me, but that's a massive understatement and doesn't sound terribly sincere to me. Furthermore, point 3. Verbal assault and intimidation are against our house rules, which we strictly enforce, and you agree to adhere to by signing the rental contract. This alone warrants your personal removal from our premises. Also, you apparently invited more than 100 people, which you weren't allowed to do and violates fire code rules, since the maximum room capacity is exactly 100 as stated in the contract. Due to your multiple breaches of contract and the fire code violations, I hereby have to ask you and your guests to leave. By the way, according to internal consultation, we have not the slightest further interest in renting out our rooms to your company, considering the circumstances. Please gather your people, personal belongings, and then leave our premises. Long story short from here on, she, of course, threw a massive hissy fit, questioned my authority some more, and needed to be guided out by security. The other people from her company were confused and understandably not amused, but cooperated in a civil manner. A week later, she and her lawyer sent us a letter claiming unfair treatment and requesting a refund, which gave our lawyer a big laugh, and the opportunity to lay out a countersuit about how they breached the contract in great detail. That was the last we heard from them, thankfully. Sounds to me like Karen just got herself fired. Our next Reddit post is from Samalolo. I work for a small IT company providing website, email servers, and web software. After a few years of collaboration with our client, our accountant came to me and said that our client hasn't paid our monthly fee for their website and mail server. Sometimes clients forget to set up an automatic transfer when they change banks, or their accountant went on vacation and forgot to tell someone to do it. So I called them to let them know about their bill. Hi, this is OP from the IT company. We haven't received your payment from last month. Is there a problem? On the other end of the phone was an important executive of that company who also happens to be the owner's mother. I don't know what those fees are for. I won't pay for it. Those fees are for your website and your mail server. We don't use it. I don't want it. I won't pay for it. Click. Okay, you don't have to be this rude. So we send a registered letter with recorded delivery saying that if they don't pay by the end of the next month, we'll have to shut down all of their services. After a month and a few days, still no transfer, so we shut off everything. Sure enough, 30 minutes later, we get a call from the owner. My email stopped working. You have to fix this, please. Yeah, we shut off your server because you haven't paid your monthly fees for the last 2 months. What? But my mom is in charge of all the suppliers. She should have paid you. No, she told us that you didn't need our services and didn't want to pay for them. She's crazy! We take care of all our invoices and contracts by email. Without them, we may as well close the company. I'll take care of paying you personally from now on, but please start the server back up. So we did, and 20 minutes later, one of his employees was at our door with a check for the last 2 months and the upcoming one. And from this point, he always paid us on time. I gotta say, that company owner was definitely brave to put his mom in charge of paying the IT vendors. Most people I know wouldn't trust their mom to open a PDF file, let alone be the liaison to an IT company. That was rSlash from Tech Support, and if you like this content, check out my Patreon where I publish extra episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.